Thursday, July 27, 2017. Lynn McConnell. Getty Images. Hurricanes coach Chris Boyd thinks the Lions will not make the same mistake in Sunday's SNZT Investec Super Rugby semi-final that they made against the Sharks in last week's quarter-final. It took a long-range penalty goal 2 minutes from full-time to secure a win by the Lions over the Sharks and secure their semi-final place. Quick tap. Lions v Hurricanes semi-final preview. I think the Lions took their eye off the ball against the Sharks in last week's quarter-final. They had beaten them the week before. I thought the Sharks played particularly well, they had a really effective swarming defense, and I think the Lions probably had their eye a little bit to the future, he said. It had been 1 playing 8 in the quarter-final qualifiers, and that had resulted in the Lions being a little off their game. I don't think they'll make that mistake again, he said. Boyd felt the Ellis Park factor, where the environment had been tough for New Zealand sides in the past, would not be too much of a concern. In the 3 years he had been with sides in South Africa, they had lost only, in a poor performance, against the Sharks in Durban last year. The boys are travelling so often now between South Africa and New Zealand, we re-getting the science around the gut feel as well, so our organisation, our preparation, our adjustment to Africa and the altitude adjustments and time zones and stuff is getting well supported by science, and it's not as big a deal as it used to be, he said. While disappointed with the Hurricanes' quarter-final effort against the Brumbies last week, Boyd said there was an edge about their preparation in Johannesburg. Our preparation has been outstanding in terms of the detail we've gone into to isolate specific situations, and I think there has been a real edge around our preparations, so if that translates into performance then I think we're in good shape, he said. Semi-final spotlight. We take a look at 4 players who could prove influential this weekend. Read https://t.cokpijunoOSpic.twitter.com RKXN4K507P Super Rugby at Super Rugby's July 27, 2017. The conditions in Johannesburg, with temperatures in the mid-20s, cloudless skies and no wind, had been ideal for the Hurricanes and suited them better than playing in wet, slippery conditions, he said. It's a pretty nice place to be from a preparation point of view. You would far prefer to be at home at the Cape Tin, but if you had to be somewhere, we're certainly not crying about being in Joburg, he said. The game was the first crossover between the two conferences, and the question was, would the Lions be able to handle playing a New Zealand side? He said the Lions were a very good side and he was sure they would adapt. The surprise in his selection for the game was the preference for Wes Goosen over Julian Saviour on the left wing. Boyd said he could ignore Wes Goosen's form in choosing him ahead of All Black Julian Saviour. We talked during the year when we get to the back end of the season that reputations count for nothing and form will dictate selection, and at the end of the day we were keen to get Vince Asso back into the midfield in partnership with Nani Laumapi, where they have performed pretty well on the front.